See, there's a map that. Okay, and then you have that one about the benefits that will be a standalone. So the slide of the benefits.
Can you see the slide?
Yeah, this is great. We can see that.
The benefits.
Yeah, I don't think we had inserted the benefits, so it was by itself, right?
But do you see the slide now with the benefits?
Yes. Okay. Oh, no, I'm seeing the leadership philosophy slides.
Okay. That's now you see it.
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. And this is the presentation.
So how many people do we have now? 3?
We have 5 people, including us, 3 people, yes, and 1 person, Miss Mbaye, that she's trying to enter and she's not succeeding.
Yeah, that connectivity. Well, you know, let me see. She might do like, yeah, that's what I was going to say. You know, how remember where we used to do that with the Bulgarian teachers, have them, you know, listen, you know, instead of seeing the picture, maybe at least she can listen.
Yes.
Or vice versa, right? I think the picture takes up a lot of bandwidth, but maybe the listening part takes less bandwidth. All right, so we're going to begin because in the beginning here, we want to hear from you. So while we're waiting for other people to get their computers organized, we can hear briefly from some of you. And this was the slide that we had finished with before, and we had put it in WhatsApp, right? And we asked you to think about this. So we were starting to look at lots of details about your project and finding ways to talk about your project, right? At whatever level of English you are, what we need is to be able to describe your project to the people that you will collaborate with from Europe. So we can start developing and accumulating different ways of talking about your project, okay? So this is one way here. What is the program, service, or product? And think about what is the main benefit, okay? So it might be that it's good for youngsters. And last time we heard that there were actually a lot of people working in agribusiness and a lot of people working in technology, right? Information technology, communications, and a lot of people with a service. So it's interesting that out of the 12 of you, we're seeing that there are 3 main areas that are in common, okay? So think about your program and just using 1 word or 2 words, what is the main benefit of your program? What is the benefit to the people that it will serve? And you can go ahead and jump in there. Some ideas. Some people said, well, the benefit is going to be that people can eat better, right? Because you're going to provide some produce and fruit and vegetables through the internet so they can actually have access, you know, equity make it easier for people so they can eat better. Some people said they're going to have access to a computer. Very simply, they're going to be able to use technology so they can communicate better, right? So what is the benefit of your program?
Hello.
Yes, yes, so do tell us.
Yeah.
The benefit of your program.
The new technology is benefit for this program.
Right, yeah, for the technology. What's the benefit of that?
The new technology is benefit for the communication.
Great. So they're going to be able to have better communication.
The communication is.
Good. And will their communication be together with their team? Together in the city of Dakar?
The communication is the team, the communication with client.
Good. Okay. And then also with more people in Senegal, right? Not just in Dakar, other people in Senegal.
Yes.
Maybe other people in Africa. Yes?
Yes, many people in Africa.
Right. And then many people globally, right? So then when Mr. Theodore introduces you to the European network, then those might be people that you can communicate with too. So you can communicate with your team, communicate in Dakar,
Yes.
communicate in Senegal,
Yes.
communicate in Africa, and communicate in Europe. Global communication.
Yes.
Good, good. Okay, excellent. Next person?
Finding new opportunities.
Yeah, who's got another example of the benefits? Is there someone else whose project relates to technology?
The new technology is benefit for the reinforcement of production.
Aha, okay, so now technology as a form of production. Yeah? Okay, and what kind of production? Like being more productive in work?
Also,
or being more productive in life? What kind of production?
Mr. Ndaye, he was presenting us fruits that they're producing.
Okay, okay.
Communication and technology are important for the selling.
Yes.
The fruits.
Okay. So then production, but also sales and distribution. Yeah?
Okay, the distribution is benefit.
Absolutely. That's a benefit. Good, good, good. All right. Somebody else? Maybe one more?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. The new technology is benefit because we can to develop a platform to selling the products in the national and international market. And
Right.
we to do the distribution and sale, distribution and selling, je produce without a technology platform.
Right. So they could maybe sell it without technology, but if they have the technology, they can reach more people.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Develop the platform.
Right. And is that part of your project to develop a platform?
Yes,
is your
platform,
project
yes.
going to develop a platform?
Yes, after produce, you can develop a platform who selling the products.
Okay, okay. Yeah, and there might be might be some connection with some of your colleagues here where you can all work together as well. So besides networking in Europe, you could also network there in Dakar with the group that we're interacting with. That's great. Thank you. That's good. Very clear.
Yes.
Excellent. All right. So Theo, put up the other set of slides and we're going to move on to the next level. So we can, I hope you're all writing notes, right? Because now you have the benefits of your program. And now we're going to look at those 4 P's, right? So we said that one of the P is philosophy. Another P is people. Another P is product and services. And another P is process, right? So let's look at philosophy. So you got that set, Theo? Put the other overhead on. There you go. And we'll go to that first slide. So this one is going to be about people. Okay, who can read this for me? Who's got a good reading voice? You can read the quote by Albert Einstein.
Logic will get you from A to B. Imagination will take you anywhere.
Okay, and then look at who said that. The person who said that was Albert Einstein, right? He was a famous scientist. So it says logic can will get you from A to B. Imagination will take you anywhere. Wow, what does that mean? Why did a scientist say that, right? So not only thinking scientifically, but using your imagination to see how far you could go. So how do you visualize your work? In your project, have you spent some time imagining what might be possible, right? So when you have a dream, your imagination can take you to where this might be possible, right? So it goes beyond the moment. Okay. So how is your project your dream? How are you passionate about your project? Maybe they have technology now in Senegal, but how does your project take it further? Take it further. How does it go beyond what is already there? Who can think of an example? So maybe there are programs that help young people, but what part of your program goes beyond, goes to the next step, the next level? How is your project more expansion?
Develop and do something, yes.
Yeah. So it actually has a result, yeah. Okay, something to think about. We're going to use our imagination because in the next slide, we're going to see that we have to think like an innovator, okay? So here was a list of leaders from different times in history. And we're going to have you choose a name, an English name. And during module 8, so when we have session 8, you're going to do a monologue about that person and how that person has helped you with your project, okay? So you're going to have between now and module 8 to prepare a 5-minute presentation, monologue, you know, about how this person helped your work, okay? So, and then this is going to become your English class name. So we're going to start to call you, you know, Jane Gooderl, or we'll call you Leonardo da Vinci, or your name will be Julius Caesar, okay? And the point of this is so that you can explore these leaders and how these leaders can help you develop your project further, okay? So for example, my classroom name is Guadalupe. And if some of you, you know, are Christian, you may know that the Virgin of the Guadalupe, when she appears, she brings with her roses. So people know that she's been there to help them because it smells of roses. So my work is all about impact. It's all about what I leave behind. So I may go and you guys continue what you learned with me. So I chose the name of Guadalupe. So my class name is Guadalupe, okay? So what is your class name going to be? So maybe you can choose Julius Caesar. Right? What kind of a leader was Julius Caesar? Right? He was this great statesman, a politician. He was a diplomat, right? And he was an explorer. He went to places other people had not gone. So maybe your project needs for you to explore further. Maybe your project needs for you to network with politicians, with the government, with the cabinet, in which case then choosing the name Julius Caesar might be a good idea because you're going to learn something from him about applying it to your project. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a boy or a girl. So if you're a boy, you can choose a girl's name. If you're a girl, you can choose a man's name, because you're going to learn something from them that can be applied to your project. So not gender specific, okay? So you can think about these names and we'll put them up on WhatsApp. And during our session on Wednesday, we would like you to tell us what your new classroom name is going to be. And that's different than your everyday name, right? You got keeping your everyday name, but your classroom name to help you develop this presentation that you're going to be doing during module 8 for 5 minutes about how that person can help you with your project, okay? So for example, Thomas Edison, right? He was a very famous inventor. Yeah. And so he invented electricity, the light, but so did Nikola Tesla. Yeah. But Thomas Edison had a vision. He used his imagination. He wanted light the entire New York City, right? Not just one house in New York. He wanted the whole city. So he used his imagination about how can I have light in all of New York City. Okay, so maybe your project needs you to use your imagination to invent a platform or invent a new way of growing produce and fruit or a new way of making honey. So then maybe you could choose Thomas Edison because he might help you understand that better. Okay. Maybe your project needs more networking, more people to network with. So then maybe you would choose, you know, the name of like Jane Goodall. She's protected the chimpanzees and the apes in Africa. But in order to protect them, not only did she need to know a lot about science, she also did a lot of fundraising, right? So maybe your project needs a lot of fundraising, and then you're going to study about Jane Goodall to find out how she was very clever to get a lot of fundraising to help her project of protecting the chimpanzees in Africa, okay? So you're gonna think about a name and think about, maybe do a little research about it and think about what the qualities of that person is that can help you with your project. And then on Wednesday, we're gonna find out who you are, okay? All right, next slide. All right, and all of these things, we're doing it because we want to know about the vision, the mission, and the goals of your project. So as you can see, we go around in a circle, right? And we go on the side to think something outside of the box, right? So you introduced yourselves in WhatsApp and you said what your project is about. Okay, now we need to go again and think, what is the vision of your project? What is the vision that you have? What is the mission? How is the vision different from the mission? Are these sister and brother?
The vision is a projection.
Yeah, okay. And the mission?
The mission is the activity in the terrain.
Okay, and then you need to think about the goals. What are your goals?
Yeah.
Okay. So just like
goals.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Is the result.
The results, yeah. And sometimes you have to think about the goals in pieces, right? Maybe you think about the goal for 1 week, the goal for 1 month, the goal for 1 year, the goal for 3 years, the goal for 5 years, the goal for 10 years, right? So my company, we have had our company for 41 years. Okay, so that's a long time. And maybe our goals have changed. Maybe they haven't. Maybe they're the same. So what was our vision? We wanted people to learn in a different way. Okay, so for 41 years, we have been working with different groups of people in 32 different countries. Okay, so you might think of your goals as, what are your goals for 1 week, So like for Wednesday, you have a goal. One goal is to figure out a name so that that can be your English class name. And that name is the name of a person that is going to help you with your project. And then in module 8, you're going to do a presentation, a monologue for 5 minutes, talking about how that person will influence your project. So that's a short goal, right? That goal is just for Wednesday. So that's Monday, 3 days from now. But it could maybe be a goal of a month and a goal of 6 months or a goal of 1 year and so on, okay? So working with young people, you're going to want to think about what are the skills these young people need in the future, okay? So the United Nations has already said that change is so fast, we don't know what young people will need in the future, right? Think about that. Sometimes you could just find the answer on your telephone, right? You could just Google it and say, oh, what's this word in French? What's this word in English, right? You could just Google it and find a quick answer. So maybe what we need is to know how to think, okay? So they say we need to know knowledge, economy, skills. We need to know how to work with our head, right? How to think. We need to be critical thinking skills, which means we need to know how to solve a problem, right? Because you can't find that on the phone, right? You might be able to find the word or the definition or an article, but does the telephone actually help solve a bigger problem? No, you have to be able to think about how you're going to solve a bigger problem, right? You need to be able to do things very concretely, doers and dreamers. You have to be able to dream so that you have goals for 3 years or 5 years or 10 years, but you also have to be able to do something concretely for 3 days from now, for 1 week, for 1 month, for 3 months. And this whole program that we're working on with you here is about leadership skills. In order for you to work with a team, you need to know how to be a good leader, right? So fine tune your leadership skills. Mm-hmm. And as we can see in this leadership skills in English, you're learning how to learn. So learning skills, okay? So look at that. Knowledge, economy skills, lifelong learning skills. You don't stop learning, right? You're gonna always learn. Globalization skills, because you're going to work in a global market, not just in Dakar, not just in the university building, not just in Senegal, but in a global market. Mm-hmm. Which means that you need to work on your communication skills at the level of world readiness. And that usually means you need to tell people about what you're doing in English, right? So we're going to practice discussing and telling people about your project from many points of view, okay? So this first point of view to think about is this knowledge economy skills. Think about knowledge economy skills. That means that you are in an economy that is based on your brain, okay? A little different than agricultural economy, which is based on growing plants and eating better. The main goal there is eating better. Industrial economy, what does the industrial economy be? That's about like factories and producing, right? production, but production in volume, right? Because that's what a factory does, yeah? Like one person can fix shoes, like a cobbler, but a factory can make many shoes, okay? So that's the industrial economy. But now knowledge economy has to do with thinking better, okay? Thinking better. So what are those? In fact, look at that, they are specific skills. Look at those. They're in the hexagon. Dialoguing. What do you think that word means? Dialoguing. What does it mean to have the skill of dialogue? Go ahead and jump in there. What does dialoguing mean? You could even think about it in French. It sounds the same in French, right? So what is dialoguing as a skill? Who has some ideas? How do you say it in French? Dialoguing.
Yeah, I don't understand your question.
Yeah. Well, how do you say dialoguing in French? What does dialogue mean? What is a dialogue?
Yes, when people talking each other, what is the
Yeah,
how we
that's
describe
right. That's right. That's it. When people are talking with each other.
where
So
they're communicating,
that's a
discussing.
skill. How do you communicate? How do you discuss? How do you talk with each other? That's a knowledge economy skill. Okay. You don't want to be rude. You have to be polite.
Dialogue
You,
is
right.
a method of communication.
Yes. Okay. And what is teamworking? Teamworking is another knowledge economy skill. What does that mean? Teamworking. What do you know how to do if you have teamwork as a skill?
Ability to work with others and
there you go.
Great.
So not only ability to
common work.
talk, but ability to work with others, right? Ability to work with others, to be in a team in a good way. Okay. Then the next one is written there next to that one, and it says adapting. Adapting. What does that mean as a skill? So far we know that a knowledge economy skill is dialoguing, which means that you know how to talk to each other, discuss, share ideas. The other one is teamworking, which means that you have the ability to work together in a team for a common goal, a team. What does adapting mean? Adapting. Is it a cognate with French? What is the word for adapting in French? Who can look it up on there?
Mike, myself.
L'adaptation.
Yeah, what does adapting mean?
Adapting is a method of integration.
Right, so you're integrating whatever is happening and then behaving accordingly, right? So you weave it in, like when you're making bread, right? You're constantly weaving in the experiences that you're having, and it might change a little bit about how you are dialoguing, how you do your teamwork, but you're integrating, you know, what's happening, okay? Questioning is a knowledge economy skill, and reflecting is a knowledge economy skill. How's about that? What's a skill of questioning? How could that be a skill? What's that?
To ask questions is very important. To
All right, sometimes the
deeper.
question is more important than the answer. Yeah. So knowing how to ask the questions and then reflecting. This is what we do with you all the time here when we stop in a slide and we say, okay, tell us what you think. We're reflecting.
Questioning is very important because it is a strategy for recency.
Yeah, exactly. Say again, I couldn't hear you. Maybe.
Questioning is very important because it is a strategy for recency mini ID.
Right, for clarifying that meaning, right?
Absolutely.
So as you can see, that's something that we do with you all the time with these slides, right? These words might sound very simple. In fact, they might even sound, they might have cognates in French, right? Dialoguing, team working, adapting, questioning, reflecting, okay? Those are knowledge economy skills. Listening, sensing, analyzing. Okay, but that's one level. That's one level to see the word. The next level is, what does the word mean to you? But now we need to take it another level, which is, how is it a skill? What is a skill anyway? How is a skill different than just knowing the word? A skill means what? That you can actually use it, right? That you can do something with it. So questioning means you know which questions to ask, okay? To find the right information you need for your project. Reflecting means you're not just sitting there thinking about dinner, which, you know, might be good to think about what you're going to have for dinner. But reflecting means, how does this apply to me? How does this apply to my project? How will my project be better?
What is the definition?
I'm thinking about it. Of what? Reflecting?
It's a definition
Check
of
it
sensing.
out. What does that? What? Of which one?
It's a definition of sensing.
Sensing. Oh, okay. Let's think about that one.
Sensing. Very interesting word.
Sensing, like your five senses. What are your five senses? To be able to see, to hear, to taste, to smell, and to touch. Those are the five senses. So sensing has to do with what? What your intuition tells you about something.
Okay,
something you're sensing, okay. Right?
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
And analyzing and listening. These are all knowledge economy skills. So think about those in relationship to you and how you are a leader, and in relationship to you and your project. Now, the other set of skills that we hear a lot about is lifelong learning skills. I'm sure you've heard that word before. People talk about, oh, he needs to be a lifelong learner. Oh, we need lifelong learning in our organization. But it is actually a set of skills, very specific set of skills, which apply to your project, right? Because look, in the middle there, in the middle circle, you have networking, anticipating, responding and producing results. Wow. Look at those four. Networking, you have to know who you want to network with. Maybe you can start networking with some people in your team right here in Dakar. And then networking with the people in Europe that Theo is going to connect you with, right? Anticipating, you have to anticipate if there's a problem, you need to fix it before it becomes a problem. So you need to think in advance, right? If there's a solution for something before it happens, anticipating. And responding, you have to be able to be very quick to respond in the moment for something, whatever happens. And more importantly, you have to produce a result. Whether or not it's a good result, a small result, a medium-sized result, a big result, produce a result. And now, what would the difference be between creating results and producing results? What do you think? Because those are two skills, creating results and producing results. What's the difference between those two? Creating results and producing results. What kind of results are in creating results?
You create something that is having impact.
That's right, creating something of an impact. And producing results is what?
When you are producing something that it's more as a product or as a service.
Okay. That's interesting, Theo. So it's like a double-sided coin. Huh? On one side, you're creating the results. You're bringing them into being with your imagination and your skills. And on the other side, you're producing results that are very concrete. You can touch them. Yeah. Okay. And then look, that word adapting appeared again. So adapting is a knowledge economy skill, but adapting is also a lifelong learning skill. Why is adapting so important that it's in two lists? What would adapting be as lifelong learning versus adapting as knowledge economy?
I think everything was changing very fast now in our world. That's why you have to be very, very adaptable to all the changes.
Exactly. So this might have to do with that rate of change, the speed of change, right? And then lastly, performing. So lifelong learning skills, expanding your leadership skill set to include lifelong learning skills and expanding the reach of your project in that your project will help build lifelong learning skills for your clients and your employees. Okay, so lifelong learning. Okay, what's the next one? The next one we have, so we have knowledge economy skills and we have lifelong learning skills. And now what else do we have? So now we have to think about how you're going to use those skills because you are the architect. You determine what you want and what you need and what are the goals. Okay. So in the very beginning, we had that quote by John Dewey about education. And you made a little presentation on WhatsApp about, is there an aspect of your project that has to do with education? So going another step, moving deeper, another perspective, another point of view. You're the architect of your project, right? So you're going to maximize your potential, maximize goal setting, maximize goal achieving, because your project is an innovative project that is of benefit for the youth of Senegal. Yeah. So we're going to determine, as the architect, it's for you to decide, what do you want for your project and what do you need? Think about the difference between want and need. What is the difference between those two words? Who can tell me? Want and need.
Between what you want and what you need.
Yeah, what's the difference between those two words?
Sometimes you think you need something, but probably you want it, but you need something else.
Okay. So a need is basic necessities, right? They're different than wants. Wants are additional things. Maybe you don't need what you want, right?
Needs
so you have to boil it down, right? Sift through it. What is a need and what is a want? Okay. You can have both in your project, but you want to create goals that are wants versus needs. Okay, so can you start thinking about your own projects? What are wants versus needs? Okay, so you're the architect. You're going to maximize your potential. Goal achieving and goal setting. So you're going to set a goal that you can achieve. Okay, you're going to look at those goals from many points of view. Okay. You're the architect. You're building something that is needed in Senegal. Yeah. It's needed and it is also wanted. Okay, so think about those two things. What is needed and what is wanted based on your project? Can anybody think of that?
Okay.
What of your project is a need and what of a project is a want? Let's take that technology one or the agribusiness. Either one of those two. Or even just the service of helping young people determine their career track. Somebody had that as a project. What is the want and what is the need?
Yeah, sometimes you want something for your project, but probably you need something else, or if you if you need concrete materials, if you need for example to grow something, fruits, or maybe probably want to get new type of fruits, but you need to sell it first, and sometimes it's different.
Right. So even that, maybe, you want to grow some things, so you need what? Seeds, dirt, water, some people that can, tend the seedlings and watch the plants as they grow and then harvest them to bring them to market. But maybe you would want to have more than 2 people working the land. Maybe you would want 2 teams instead of just 2 individuals. Maybe you would want a plow that's like a car instead of one that you would pull with your hand, right? Maybe you would want to have growing the plants vertically instead of horizontally. So you would want to have the equipment to grow your garden and your produce vertically to take advantage of that you don't have a lot of land, so you're going to grow it vertically versus growing it horizontally in the dirt. So that helps you also later on to decide if you have a strong enough mission, vision, and goals, and if you have to integrate this into your budget, right? Okay, so that means that you need to be aware of the potential of your project and aware of your own potential, aware of the potential of the people in your team. So awareness of potential. What do you think and why do you think that? Okay, again, double-sided coin. What are you thinking and why do you think that, right? So maybe if you're thinking of that you needed to plant the plants vertically instead of horizontally, why am I thinking that? Because I can only get 1 hectare of land and I'll have to wait 3 years before I can get 5 hectares of land. But maybe with 1 hectare of land, I can grow more plants, more produce, if I build a vertical way of growing the produce. It means I'm going to need some bamboo and some ties, and I need an irrigation system because I want to grow the plants vertically to have more production in 1 hectare of land. See what I'm saying? So you're going to go in a circle like that. So what is the awareness of the potential? The awareness of the potential of your project, how far you can go, is going to be an important area to think about a want and a need. Who's got one example? We can help you think it through. One example. Any of your projects, and we'll help you think it through, go through the path together. Oh, I think everybody's hungry for dinner today. We're all shy.
You have to measure your potential somehow.
Oh, okay. We need to measure the potential somehow. So we need to know, like yesterday, somebody said, I want to grow rice. And then he said, 90% of the Senegalese people eat rice. So in the research that he's done, he knows that 90% of people in Senegal like rice. So yes. Therefore, he's choosing that he wants to grow rice because there's a lot of people that might want it, right? That might want to eat it, that like to eat it. So what does he need? He only had, I think he said, 2 hectares of land. But 90% of the people in Senegal eat rice. How many people is that? What's the population of Senegal? We could look it up on Google. You see, that's something we could look up in Google. So we can go over here to find out the number, population of Senegal.
The research is very important when you want to create something, and when you're creating new products especially, you need to have the right research.
Right, so here we're gonna look up the population of Senegal. It says 16.3 million. Wow, okay, 16.3 million. That's a lot of people, right? And then 16.3 million and 90% of 16.3 million is, let's see, minus 16. That's like 11 million people. Yeah, is that right? So that's a lot of people that eat rice. Can you grow enough rice in 2 hectares of land? So that means that to start, if he's the architect of his own project, he might have to think about new ways of growing rice, not just the old way, right? What else does he need to grow rice? He needs rice, the seeds. He needs water, yeah. He needs somebody to take care of the rice on a daily basis, yeah. But he has two boys that can help him, two young guys that can help him. And he has 2 hectares of land and he wants to grow the rice. So he wants to grow 90% of the rice, but with 2 hectares of land, maybe he's not going to grow enough rice for 90% of the people, but he'll certainly grow enough rice for, you know, a smaller percentage of the people. Okay. So then what does he need? The rice, the water, the boys to work the land. He needs the 2 hectares of land. He needs to know something about growing rice so they can, you know, smoothly grow it, no mistakes. What would he want? He would want to grow a lot more than 2 hectares of land would give him. So he would have to think creatively about how he could do it innovatively to take advantage and make 2 hectares of land more production than just 2 hectares of land. Okay, so you're thinking about the circle, okay? Which brings me then to know your assets. What are your strengths? What are your strengths? You have to be self-motivated to be a good leader. You have to be ready to deal with whatever comes at you. You also have to be willing to learn. You have to be courageous to be a leader, right? To go where no one has gone before. And you have to persevere. What's persevere? Is that word in French similar? Similar word? Is it cognate in French? Persevere. Yeah. So if you have self-motivation, you're not going to get discouraged, you know, very soon because you're motivated to do something. You're ready to do whatever it is because you're the architect of your project. Yeah. You're willing to learn more so that you can do a better job. You're very courageous because you're embarking on new territory. It's an innovative project. And you're willing to stay the course, to be firm, not be knocked around by the wind. Perseverance. Why do you think these are important for good leaders? For you as a leader, for your project, why are these important? Is there one maybe that's more important than the other, or one that you're working on right now? Maybe another one that you need to develop later? What do you think?
I think willingness to learn is something important because you learn every day from the things you do. Every step it's warning you about something.
Yeah.
And then you can adapt your approach, but you also have to have the courage to try.
That's right. You have to, and I love what you said there. Notice Mr. Theo used the word adapt, which is a knowledge economy skill and a lifelong learning skill. So he said you have to be willing to learn every day so that you can adapt and you can learn every day. And then he said, oh, but you also have to have courage. Why do you have to have courage?
To try to try new things, for example.
Yeah, you got to try new things. And, you know, there's going to be people along the way that are going to say to you, oh, you can't do that. That's not going to work, right? So you have to be courageous enough to say, well, why do you think that won't work, right? Because you need the information, you need the research. And then you need to say, well, you know what? I do think it will work because X, Y, Z, right? What's the difference between courage and perseverance? Why do you need courage? And why do you need perseverance in your project?
The courage is a force.
Yeah. There's a force inside of courage, right? Force. And how's about in perseverance?
The force for initiate the project is a courage.
To initiate the project,
Oui.
you need courage. Good, good.
The perseverance is a force for resistance.
Right. So that's going to keep you going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know there'll be a lot of people, yes, right, that they will comment. They'll say, oh, we already have rice in Senegal. We don't need someone else to grow rice. We already have it. Yeah. Where do you get your rice from? Do you grow it in Senegal directly, or does it come from another city or another country? These are all parts of knowing you're ready for your project, your research. And then to have the courage to say, well, you know what? I think it's important to do it here because
there are two methodologies.
There are two. Say again.
They have two methodology for get the rice.
Yeah, two methodologies. Okay.
Yeah. Importing.
Importing?
Yeah.
And exporting?
No.
No, okay.
Importing and je culture in Senegal.
Importing and what's the other word?
To produce it in Senegal, you mean?
And production, right. Oh, that's so cool. Yay, okay, I like that. Yeah, I like those two words. So importing and producing inside of Senegal, right? Building capacity, right? Building Senegalese capacity.
The capacity importing is many of the production in Senegal.
Very good, yeah. So you can see how these work, right? They almost feed on each other. I'm self-motivated, I'm ready, I've done my research, I'm ready to experiment with some things or just do it. I'm willing to learn so that later on I could be more adaptable. I'm courageous and I'm going to persevere. Say again.
Mr. Daya, you can say again. Can you repeat?
Okay. Maybe the mic is muted. So thinking about these is going to help you to think about what are your goals, what is your mission, and what is your vision. You see that? Different perspective, different point of view. Okay. Now let's go on. I think we got time for one more, and then we'll have you think about these for Wednesday. Okay, let's see one more, Theo. So knowing your assets, yes. You are an asset. Which brings us to this one, right? So by Wednesday, we want you to think about what is the vision. What is the main concept? Vision comes from the word eyes, right? To see, right? But sometimes you can see something inside your head, inside your imagination, and sometimes you could see something outside of your head, right? In the real world. Ideas to elaborate. What is the vision for this initiative, for this project? Okay. So vision, the main concept, the ideas you want to elaborate. What is the vision for this initiative, for this project? What do you see as the potential? And then let's go backwards to see how these things that we just looked at will help you define your vision. So let's go backwards one by one, Theo, and see how we look at them from the point of view of the vision. So looking about your vision, are you self-motivated, readiness, willingness to learn, courage, and perseverance? What does that have to do with the vision? Those are qualities that are going to help you achieve your vision, right? So these, you want to look at them in terms of your vision. And let's go, that's an asset. You're the asset. Your leadership skills is the asset to accomplish your vision. Yeah? That's about the next one. Go backwards one more. Okay, what was this one again? Awareness of potential. What is the potential of that vision? What do you think it could be? And why do you think that? Right? We gave the example of our colleague with the rice. He thinks he wants to do rice. Why? Because 90% of the people will like the rice. Okay. So what is the awareness of the potential of your vision? See? So thinking about these things helps you define the vision. Next one. You're the architect of it, right? So who's going to determine it? You're going to determine it. You're going to say, what are the goals that you're going to set? What are the goals you're going to achieve? You're going to make a division between wants and needs. And the vision should prepare the youth to be a lifelong learner. Yeah, because if not, then it's an old style. It's not innovative, right? And let's see the next one. It should also prepare you to be ready for knowledge economy skills, ready for lifelong learning skills, and ready for knowledge economy skills. Does the vision supply that? Okay, next. And does the vision and your leadership for this project prepare your clients, your audience, your youngsters for the 21st century? So that you're a leader, but then they will become the leaders, right? That's what a lot of you said in your presentations, the videotapes that you put on WhatsApp. You said, I want them to become the leaders, right? And it brings us to the final thing that we're going to be discussing in these next couple of days is, what is the vision? What is the mission? And ultimately, what are the goals? Okay. So right now, the one we want answered for Wednesday is, what's the vision? But you know what the next question is going to be, right? You know me already. You're like, oh, that Guadalupe, she's going to ask us for what is the mission and what are our goals as well. You know, that's coming, okay? And we're going to get inspired by looking at these leaders, because these leaders can teach you something, right? That list of leaders. So that's that previous one. And amongst all of those guys, we're just going to choose one. We'll choose one that will help influence and help make an impact on your project. What can you learn from one of them that can be applied to your project? Okay. A lot of thinking today. Whoa, we've got a lot of thinking going on, and all of this to define what is your leadership philosophy, what is the vision for your project. And then ultimately, what is the mission of your project and what are the goals? Okay, so bit by bit, we're going to get there. Okay, any questions? You got a lot.
Final words for everybody, just to say that something as a final word for today.
So what's the final word for today? So if you had to tell the others that weren't in the lesson today,
Mr. Ndaye?
What would you say?
Yeah, Mr. Theodore.
Yes. Yes.
No, I am not occasion. I have not occasion.
Yes, but if you have to get something from today, what will be? What you gonna get from today?
What was the takeaway there?
From our meeting
today?
So meeting,
even if it's one word.
Today it is interesting. I understand.
Sorry?
I understand. I understand the development of the course.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand the development?
Well, it is a good course.
Okay. Thank you. Good. Who else?
Thank you very much.
Who else has a good takeaway for today? One thing you can say about today.
I understand the difference of vision, mission, and goals for the project.
Cool. Great. That's just awesome. So you're getting more and more clear.
Vision and mission.
Yeah, and the goals of the project.
Mission and goals.
Mm-hmm.
And sensing, listing, analyzing, and yes, sensing, listening,
yes.
analyzing.
Yes. Sensing, yes.
Great. Who else has got a takeaway for today?
We are just the four of us.
I understand that.
I thought there was somebody else in there.
Yes, sorry.
A project is interesting that sees the people have a need.
Oh, I like that. That's awesome. That's a good one.
Very nice. Very nice.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, so with that, we'll let you go and we'll see you on Wednesday. And you're going to think of a name, right, for yourselves. We'll put these names probably in WhatsApp so you can think about them and choose wisely. And then you're going to think about the vision statement, right? Okay. Thank you so very much for being good participants and listeners. You guys are fantastic. We really enjoy working with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy your dinner. Bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye.